Hello everybody, my name is Kyle and I am a freelance photographer located in northern Idaho. I am a current student at North Idaho College and I am currently studying photography. I am not a pro and have a lot of learning still to go, so any tips or tricks are always appreciated. I currently shoot with a Canon R5 with a 70-200 f4 lens. I wish it was an f2.8, but unfortunately, being a college student, you can't afford those lenses. I wanted to make this video to go over the thought process of what I go through at basketball games, taking photos, and I just wanted to pick out 5 of my favorite from a recent basketball game. The first photo that I wanted to take a look at is this photo that I got of Daniel Santana. He is a sophomore and plays guard for NIC. I took this photo sitting on the baseline just to the right of the backboard, and I was able to get a good shot looking up into his face and facial features while he was shooting. The one thing is that I wasn't able to get the basketball in the shot with him because his left arm in the shooting motion while the ball was in his hands was covering his face. This is the first frame that his face is totally exposed, and it's showing a good expression, but I really like it because it shows from shoes all the way up to his fingers. It's a great form. You know that shooting pose, and you just know from the facial features that, or the facial expression that, it's going in. But yeah, I really like this one. The angle that I got was really good from the position that I was at. So this second picture is of Julius Mims. He is a freshman and plays forward for the NIC Cardinals. And this photo I got of him just posterizing number 33 here was really awesome. I actually got the full set of him going airborne and then coming down. But this frame is definitely my favorite out of all of them because you have the ball in picture, great facial expression, great shot of all the muscles, all just coming down. And I got this one sitting just to the right of the rim on the baseline. I really like that position probably the most is just to the right side of the rim. When I tried sitting under the rim, thinking that these shots would be, even a little bit better, they just didn't come out right because the majority of the time, the defender is going to be right in front of the player trying to block them. So if you can get a little bit of an angle to the right or the left of the rim, you can get a full frame of both players at the hoop. And I think they come out really great. Sometimes, especially at the NIC gym, they have some light bulbs that are out, and I believe above this hoop, one of them is out. So if you're right under there, it is just super dark and you have to lighten up in Lightroom or Photoshop or whatever you use. I use Lightroom Classic right now. It's definitely my favorite to use for post editing. Another thing too is I prefer the right side, sitting to the right side of the rim, because the majority of NIC players are right-handed, but I like to move back and forth between the left side and the right side because at the college level, a lot of the players are ambidextrous and they can go to the hoop with the left or the right. So it's kind of a guessing game. If you have the ability to move around a little bit, I would definitely recommend that instead of just staying in one spot for the entire game. For our third photo, this is Cooper DeWitt. He is a freshman and he plays guard for NIC. And I caught this one of him shooting in the key over number one here, who was much shorter than everybody else on our team, but he gave a good effort. As with number one, I am also shorter than everybody on the basketball team, so I like to move around and get higher angles or more eye-level angles of the players for these shots in particular. In our gymnasium, there is a second upper level, and you can get onto the stairwells. And I found out that if I just stay in the middle of the stairwell, I can get these kind of eye-level shots of the players while they're shooting or dunking the ball. I really like this one because the defender's hands frame the face really well. You get to see the ball, him in the shooting motion. I wish we could get shoes, but you can't get every piece of the player that you want in every single photo. But I really like this one. This is to the left side of the hoop, which if the majority of the players shoot right-handed, which he is, but he's on the left side of the court, it definitely works out great because they're shooting it right at you. It's really all just a guessing game. I usually do it in time, not by how many frames that I take. But men's games are 2 halves, so once 5 to 7 minutes are done in the half, I'll get up from the baseline and kind of start moving to the left to see if I can get some different angle shots. If there isn't a lot of shooting or they're attacking the basket from the right or using their right hand, then I'll probably stay on the baseline. If they're doing a lot of shooting, which NIC has all great shooting guards and forwards, they'll shoot from anywhere on the court. But when you've got a good shooting team, it's nice to be able to get different angles, because if I was on the baseline here, his left arm would totally be covering his face. Depending on how close he is to that player, his hands could be, at a weird angle. So definitely move around. I'm lucky that at my community college, I'm the only one that takes photos of the sports. So I don't have a designated area or a designated spot that I have to stay in for one half and then I get to move at the other half, or just stay in that spot for the whole game. So that definitely works in my benefit as a sports photographer, that I get to kind of do whatever I want. And it's definitely worked out for me. My goals are to get to a university and be able to take photos for them. So I know that it'll be a lot different once you go from community college to university. And then I'm sure once you get to pros, they tell you where to sit and where you can and cannot go. So definitely be interesting to see in the future. But for now, it's been really great just being able to have the freedom to go wherever I want. And it's been a lot of fun. So picture number 4 here is also of Cooper DeWitt. And this is in the second half, so I'm on the other side of the gym. And I'm still on the left side of the backboard on the baseline. The stairwell isn't as nice on this side of the court. So I usually kind of stay lower, or I'll get on these stands in the back and see if I can get some elevation. But usually for the second half, I'm more focused on baseline photos, moving side to side throughout the whole game. Obviously not while they're playing or trying to shoot the ball, because that would just be really a terrible thing to do. I'm sure they wouldn't appreciate the huge distraction of me waddling back and forth. But yeah, this is from the left side, and Cooper is going up right-handed, which, you know, you get the back, but to me, I really love this photo. You get all shoes all the way up to the ball. Yes, you don't get the facial expression, but I like this side because I get the NIC bench reactions a lot of the times, which, as you can see, Julius Mims is jumping in the air, and everybody's out of their seat because they know exactly what's going to happen. And he throws it down, and there was a huge celebration. And as a photographer, I always try to capture the moment and then move to the bench, because usually the expressions and the excitement is really cool to capture with the players that weren't directly in the play. So this is the 5th and final photo that I wanted to go over, and this is of Brendan Johnson. He is a freshman guard, and he was on fire all night. He was extremely aggressive on offense, very aggressive on defense, and he was just all over the place. And it was really awesome to be able to get a lot of good shots. But this one was definitely one of my favorites that I got of him. I wish I would have been able to get the shoes a little bit more, but you're not going to be able to get every piece every single time. But we were able to get the ball, full extension on the arm, great facial expression, full defender, which, if you know basketball, you know the Larry Bird hook shot, and that's exactly what it reminds me of when I look at it. And it was really cool just to be able to get this from the left side, again on the baseline. You know, you just gotta be able to keep moving, and you know, you'll feel the flow of the game, where players' favorite shots are, and you just get lucky sometimes. And a lot of the times you're calling through bad photos. But this one I did have to crop in. Don't tell Jared Bolin. But I did crop because I was not paying attention fully at the time, but it's just a part of sports photography. And luckily with the Canon R5, I have a little bit of leeway being able to crop in with my photos and still keeping them pretty decent. So that was my top 5 photos from a recent NIC men's basketball game. If anybody has any comments or questions, definitely let me know, and thank you so much for watching.